gosh, I have so much to talk with you about, but something just happened that we have to start with first. So a couple of days ago, I put a comment on a TikTok where somebody's talking about how you can't live on minimum wage. Now, there's a lot we can talk about with minimum wage, right? I'm not even exactly sure who charges minimum wage at this point because like in Iowa it's 7.50 an hour, but I don't know one job that gives them 7.50 an hour. For example, at Target it's $14 to $15 an hour. At our grocery stores it's $10 to $11 an hour. But this person was basically saying that nobody can live on minimum wage. Now, I'm not saying it's not hard. I'm not saying that people should, but also minimum wage jobs weren't generally made for people for a career. They were just like teenage jobs or side hustles, side jobs that people were having. But anyway, what I said on her video was you can't generalize because, for example, somebody in New York City getting minimum wage and somebody who lives in our state like Iowa getting a minimum wage, yeah, that dollar will go a lot further in Iowa. So I said, you can't generalize. For example, my daughter at 18 bought a house. So she took that video and did like a whole response video to it. It's cringy. It's hard for me to even listen to her talk. But in the comment section is full of people saying she's a liar. Me, being me, not the creator. Okay, a couple things. I don't need to prove myself to complete strangers, right? But I'm questioning why they think I'm lying. First of all, does it then you can't play the victim and you want to get paid more money? Like my daughter is proof that you can actually live on minimum wage, not only live, but live well. Like she owns a home. So then that throws their argument out of the window of them wanting to get paid more, right? So maybe that's why they're angry. Maybe they're angry because she was able to do something at 18 that somebody else wasn't able to do at 30. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that she's lucky that she has supportive parents like us, that we really helped her save a lot of money. Like anything she earned, 90% of it went into a savings account since she was born, right? I know not everybody does that. So yes, she does have certain advantages because of how she was raised, right? She did not have to help us with our bills like other people. But again, my whole point was you can't generalize and say nobody can live on minimum wage. So anyway, in the comment section, besides them calling me a liar, which without giving them her address and phone number, I'm not exactly sure how I can prove that I'm not a liar. Again, not that I have to. They were saying things like, oh, she must be 50 years old, this daughter, and bought a house in 1970. No, she's 19. She bought it last year when she was 18. They said, oh, well, they must have helped her with the down payment. Nope. She literally paid everything out of her savings account. The down payment and every monthly mortgage payment, we've helped with zero of that. She also pays for the utilities, the internet, the insurance. We don't pay for any of that. And then they said, well, you must have paid for all her bills so she could save up. All her bills till she was 18? Yeah, because she lived in her house and she was my daughter. I don't charge my kids rent. She had to pay for her own gas. And when she went out to dinner with her friends, she paid for that as well. But yeah, she was on our insurance and we gave her room and board because she was our daughter. Like, I don't even understand what they're talking about. And then they said it must have been a family home, somebody that we knew. Nope, she bought a house with somebody. I did not know the owners of that home. Yes, there was advantages because I was a realtor and I was able to help her through the process and contact a bank. But I find it just really interesting that and also you'll love this, they said you should look at my profile page. I'm an anti-vaxxer and a Trumper and a conspiracy theorist. At this point, I don't even know how they can say things like that, especially the conspiracy theory, because as we know, the difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth is 6 months, give or take, sometimes shorter than that. Pretty much every conspiracy theory that we pointed out, a conspiracy theory, actually has become true. So I'm not exactly sure how they obviously use these words like anti-vaxxers and conspiracy theorists to make it seem like we're crazy. And the funny thing is, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. My family and I haven't taken one shot, and now we're anti-vaxxers. And honestly, I don't even know why you can use anti-vaxxer as an insult. I know a lot of people that have not chose to get the vaccine for them and their families since they were born. And I've never called them an anti-vaxxer. They were crazy or loony. And they truly are people who are against vaccines. So I find it interesting how they use these terms against you as an insult. But yeah, so super proud of my daughter. I'll show you a picture of her. she did buy a house at 18. And I know that's also, they kept saying you're an outlier. No, I know that. I know it's not normal for an 18-year-old to purchase a home, right? I'm not saying it's normal, but it happened. I'm not a liar because you don't believe me. I just find that really interesting. Oops. So, like, this is a picture of her signing at the closing. And this is after the closing. The bank gave her a gift. She's obviously very happy. And then we went to her house afterwards. And this is me giving her a kiss in front of the house. And then this is my favorite picture. I was going to use this on advertising. That's her at their house. So I don't know how I could prove that I'm not a liar by not giving, because I don't want to give her name, her address, right? But I just find it really interesting. Just because you don't want to believe me, I must be a liar. Sorry about the coloring. That changed a little bit when I did those pictures. But yeah, so I had to vent because it just happened. So I appreciate you listening to my vent. And the whole minimum wage is a whole other topic, right? Because I know women who were single moms who worked minimum wage jobs, sometimes more than one, and went to school and they were able to survive. Was it a struggle? 100%. Did I want them to struggle? 100% no. Like, I don't, just because you can survive on minimum wage doesn't mean I think you should. And I think that, again, going back to minimum wage jobs, were not supposed to be permanent jobs, career jobs for 40 years, right? My husband worked at a Kentucky Fried Chicken for a couple of years when he was in high school. And when he went off to college, they said, if you want, we can move you to manager. And then in a few years, you could be the owner of this chain, this particular KFC. But he was going to college. And they're like, yeah, well, if you don't go to college, you can become manager. So him at 18 years old was offered a manager position at KFC. But he had a full ride scholarship to pay college football, so that's why he went to play. Or else he would have done that. If he wasn't able to afford college, he would have done that. And right now in this day and age, you can get through the ranks quicker than any other time, I feel like, because there's so many people who don't want to work, or when they do work, they're not very hard workers. So it's very obvious to employers and owners and entrepreneurs when they see somebody who's working really hard, is on time, does more than they have to, and just are really hard workers and dependable. You go through the ranks quicker than the history of America, I feel like. That's my opinion, obviously, as everything I say usually is. But anyway, I had to share that. Thanks for listening. And I have a lot to talk about in the next couple of weeks. I've just kind of we had spring break last week and we were in New Jersey and New York. So I'll talk more about that later. Yeah, thanks for staying tuned, and we'll do some more videos. Party of Logic.